This video is, of course, another one where I'm going to use these toy vehicles to show some of the horrible, predatory, rude, obnoxious, just out of their mind, bad drivers. Before I start, though, one thing I want to say, whenever you're driving, or if you're on a bicycle, motorcycle, or on foot, always think like this. What is the worst thing that the other driver can do? Chances are that's what that idiot's going to do. Now, here's one day some of you may encounter. Here's a red light. These lanes turn. Generally, when you turn, you're supposed to go to the nearest lane. Okay, that means basically like this, right? Okay, you're here. This jackass comes, sees you at the light, wants to come here because he wants to get into the lane you're at, or across to maybe the third lane. Now, you are allowed to go to the third lane because you're in the proper lane. You're in the rightmost lane of the turn lane, 2 turn lanes. This jackass isn't. He could have just stayed behind you, and then as soon as you did that, kind of sped up and got in front of you, right? I mean, at a decent distance. It's what the little bastard could have done. Of course, the little bastard doesn't do that. What does this bastard do? You're going around, and he turns, almost hits you. He may nearly hit you, or he'll cut extremely close to your car as he does this crap. Or as he's doing this, another jackass coming here and making a turn comes in, comes this way. You're the only one that's doing the right thing. This jackass is supposed to get into the nearest lane. He's coming this way, nearly hits this idiot, which nearly hits you. Luckily, you are one of those people that do defensive driving. You think, well, what is the dumbest thing that this idiot next to you can do? And what is the dumbest thing that this idiot on the other side can do? Always, always have that in your mind. Trust me, that will save you a lot of headaches. Here's another one of my favorites. You're driving, trying to pass somebody. You know, they're driving slow, trying to pass, and they speed up. They won't let you in. Now, sometimes you can kind of trick them. You notice they go into the next lane to pass them. You go over here. My favorite, and I've done this, not necessarily on purpose now, had a jackass. I'm not trying to pass him. Actually, I was not trying to pass him. My turn was coming up. This idiot speeds up. And I was going a little faster. He's a little faster. Now, I have a dash cam in my car just in case people. I'll show you why in a minute after this. But I also have a radar detector. You know, when the police have their thing, you know, it goes off. Mine starts going off, so I'm obviously going to slow down, and I get into my lane. This idiot's still speeding a little bit. He's all proud of himself. Here comes the cop right behind his dumb ass and pulls his ass over. Couldn't happen to a better person. Now, earlier, you know, you want to make sure, you got to be very careful about how these people, I kind of forgot what I said earlier. That was going to show, because it was something important. Darn it. Oh well. And hopefully I'll remember it. Oh, I remember now. Super slow drivers. You know, the speed limit is 65 miles an hour on some roads, 70. And these idiots are going 30, 35, 40. They're going so slow. I mean, super slow. And they're enjoying, and they're going, and of course, they're in the rightmost lane, too. They're going super slow. They think they're safe drivers, or they're going 60. But usually they're going slower than this. No one can get around them. They think they're so smart and safe. They're so dumb they don't realize they're causing other people, you know, get in trouble, get in accidents because people are getting more aggressive. Of course, in their minds, like, who cares? That's them. You know, they think of themselves as being the most important. And of course, the problem with these idiots, they don't think person come around and right here and then slam on their brakes and then there's that accident. And here's where I was talking about. This is what I meant about the dash cam. Okay, now I just remembered. That reminded me. Okay. You're parked here at a red light. You got this person in front of you. You're at a light. This person decides to back up into you. Now, there is not a dang gum thing you can do about this. You're going to get a ticket because the cop's going to believe this person. But if you have a dash cam and you can get it to stay on your dang gum windshield, it's going to show on camera that this jackass backed up into you. Remember that. Just think about that. Just, think about that, getting a dash cam. It might be a good idea. Have some sort of recording device on your car that you can see these idiots. Be careful of road hazards, tires on the road and stuff like that. Always be careful. The amount of idiots on the road is amazing. And here's another idiot. This is I can't stand either. They purposely drive in your blind spots. I've only had one person on a motorcycle do this, but it's almost always someone in a car. Always, if you're on a motorcycle, what I said at the very beginning really applies to you. What is the dumbest thing that this idiot in a car can do? If you're driving a semi, a bus, whatever, it really applies to you. And that leads me to another point. Okay, here you're driving. Here's a person in one of those, there's a construction vehicle. Not exactly a bulldozer. I can't think of the name of the thing that they're driving. I can't think of the name right now, but there's a stop sign that's supposed to stop. They don't stop, they just keep going. Because they think, well, this vehicle can handle a car crash. My vehicle ain't, this construction vehicle isn't going to get damaged, but their car is, so I can just run the stop sign. That's what's going on in their tiny brain. Here's the problem. Their company can get sued. You can sue their company that they work for. And they will, of course, lose their jobs. They're stupid. Some of these people, I'm not talking about everybody that does construction stupid. I didn't say that. I'm talking about the idiots that do, that just run the stop sign. And that's rare that I see people do that, but they will do that garbage. And of course, you got people throw trash out of their cars and stuff. And then another one of my favorite, light turns green, they just sit there. They'll look at their next driver, make sure that they go first, because they damn sure ain't going to go before you go. Okay, they just aren't going to do that. Okay, I've seen one person. I'll admit this was just one time. I've never seen it again or before. This guy, the light was red, turned green, and he was not happy that he had to go. Because some people, they really do not want to go when that light turns green. Which leads me to the part when, the light turns yellow, they stop, and then they go again and cause you to get stuck. Or, they stop at a stop sign, they wait till you get close to them, and then they go, causing you to get stuck by another car coming that way. I mean, anyone can make these lists like I just did about these horrible drivers, obviously. And do a much, much, much better job than I ever can. But, and these cars did a good job showing them. And, this... What else? I went through a lot in the last video. I don't really want to go through all of them again. I will probably accidentally cover some of them. And I probably remember some I did not think of. Another one, distracted drivers. They're on a cell phone, newspaper, or whatever. And they're just, like this. You get behind them on a light and they're just sitting there. Because they're busy texting or whatever. And then you got the drunks and the people are high or they're on certain medications or whatever. They shouldn't be driving, but they're driving. And you got, of course, the psychos. You got people you try to pass them, they speed up, as I said, and they'll flip you off and act stupid, because they don't want you to pass them. And you got the psychotic, really psychotics, pass you, try to slam on the brakes here, come here, honk the horns, and just try and harass you, even though you're going at the proper speed and there's a car in front of you. Not too close, but there's a car in front of you. And I had once, and this was hilarious, I don't know if I mentioned in the last video, person comes, tailgates me, I have cars in front, it's really bad traffic, and he's doing this crap with his, and flashing his lights. Hey, what can you say? Well, I'm sure it happens in other places too. Then he finally has a chance to go around, comes around like this, sees he can't get in front of me because traffic, slows down enough and cuts off the person behind me. And I'm sure a lot of you have dealt with those type of idiots. It's just absolutely amazing the horrible, horrible drivers you'll deal with on the road. That's why you gotta do defensive driving. You gotta ask yourself, what is the absolute, positively absolute dumbest thing that these other guys can do? And I understand, sometimes people get a little absent-minded and they're not thinking about the driving. I get that. I understand that. That's forgivable. But you can tell that some people are just not too bright. They're dumber than even I am. Okay? You can tell because they're constantly doing it. Because how many times do we all get stuck, lights red and you're, looking at something else. You're looking at the clock or, your clock or adjusting AC or radio. And light's green and the person behind you honks the horn and you realize light's green and you go. Of course, you're not going to flip that person off, but there's some people that will. It happens. But there's some people, it's constant they're doing this crap. Constantly. It's like all they can do is just be slow and stupid and obnoxious. Some people, they're just completely oblivious to other people. And it's not just driving, it's just in general. It's like the only people that matter to them is them. And majority of the people you encounter throughout your life, throughout your jobs and everything, are like that. They think only of themselves. That's why we have social justice warriors. I don't want to get into social justice warriors. But, that's how they are. You agree with them, then it's okay. If you don't, then you're a racist, sexist, homophobe. That type of nonsense. A lot of these drivers, they just cannot freaking drive. And it's on purpose, some of them. And it doesn't matter what gender they are, what ethnicity they are, and how old they are. Young, old, whatever. Okay? That's just a bunch of nonsense. But I will say one thing is only men that I've encountered that would just get pissed if you try to pass them. And women seem to be more likely to get dazed by the light. They seem to be a little slower. Light turns green, it takes a little longer for them to speed up. Now with speeding, that's another thing. I've never understood speeding. I don't drive slow. Last thing I do is drive slow. But if you're going 40, 50 miles over the speed limit, 30 miles over the speed limit, something's wrong. Okay? Well, feel free to like, subscribe, feel free to watch any of my other videos. Thanks.